Hey there, this is Jeff Cobb with Tagoras. I recently had the opportunity to talk with a great group of folks at the CSAE Peak Luncheon, and I wanted to follow up with this brief video just to highlight some of the key points that I made during that talk. Now, the title of the talk was Leading the Learning Revolution, and the idea is basically that we do have a revolution starting in the world of continuing education, professional development, and lifelong learning, and that this is really fertile ground for trade and professional associations. It's an area where these organizations really can lead the way and reinforce their value to society and to the members that they serve. Now, I think a few things need to happen in order for organizations to seize that opportunity. One is that we really need to reframe and elevate and clarify this whole idea of continuing education and professional development and identify it as really a third sector of education in the United States. It's that important. We've got pre-K through 12, we've got higher education, and we have what I characterize as the other 50 years, that long period of time after formal education where most of us are going to have to learn and relearn in order to maintain our jobs and maintain our careers. And for most of us, the one touch point throughout our careers is often going to be that trade and professional association to which we belong. So, those organizations, your organization is a natural leader in this arena. But another point that I made was that this really is a business. Unlike pre-K through 12 and unlike higher education where there's a lot of government involvement, much less so in the adult lifelong learning sector. It really is a market. And so we have to act like businesses in serving the market. And there are three things that I think we have to do along those lines. One is to really bring across a strong sense of vision in the products and the services that we're delivering to our marketplace. I mean, learning is a force for change. Learning transforms people's lives. Learning is the catalyst for moving through a career successfully. But oftentimes when I look at how organizations are presenting their continuing education and professional development, that just doesn't really come across. And that means that we're not leveraging an asset that we, particularly as nonprofit organizations in most cases, have in serving the general public and our membership base. So I think really bringing across a strong sense of vision. What are we trying to change? How are we trying to improve the fields and the industries that we serve to make them better for society in general? So there's that elevated sense of vision that I think is really important and is really a competitive asset for organizations. Secondly, I think really being able to tell a strong value story and focusing on value very intensely in the products and services that we're offering. Organizations really need to present a portfolio of value of products that really span from free up to much higher priced products that are going to address different parts of their learners' needs. And we talked about a concept called the value ramp. And I'll give you a link at the end here where you can go and get access to the value ramp and some information about that. But that's a simple tool for looking at the value that your organization offers through its educational programs and hopefully being able to fill in some gaps and really tell a compelling value story with your education. So vision, value, and then the third area we talked about, obviously in much more detail than I'm doing in this video, is impact. And I think it's going to be more and more important, particularly in this data-driven world in which we live, for education providers to be able to show that their education actually moves the dial for the individuals that it's serving, for the organizations where those individuals work day in and day out. And we know from our research that most organizations are not measuring the impact, particularly the longer-term impact of the education that they're offering. And I think that's going to need to change. And I think as it does change, it can become a competitive advantage, a way for trade and professional associations to really stand out in this market for lifelong learning and continuing education. So vision, value, impact, and all of that within a much clarified and elevated idea of what this sector of continuing education and professional development is. It really is a third sector of education in the United States and increasingly globally. So I think, as an organizational leader, as somebody working within an organization, if you can embrace the message that I'm conveying here and convey that vision, convey that value, convey that impact, you're going to be in an excellent position to lead the learning revolution.